Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Picks and Sticks podcast, a fun music podcast where four great friends talk about the music, bands, and songs that they love. I'm Moro.
I'm Gordo.
I'm Cecil.
And I'm Huff.
And this is Picks and Sticks.
Welcome, everyone, to another special episode of Picks and Sticks. We're breaking format again to bring you our second album review. If you haven't listened to our review of AC/DC's Power Up, we suggest that you do that, of course, after you listen to this episode. But this time we are talking about the Foo Fighters' 10th studio album called Medicine at Midnight. Before we get into that, we want to remind you that you can email the show at picksandstickspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you tried out Moro's famous pasta sauce recipe from the Valentine's Day episode, or give us a suggestion for a future show. Whatever you want, we'd love to hear from you. I did try the pasta sauce. I will admit. I think I'm a shitty cook. I think I'm really.
What? It didn't work?
No, I think I'm stupid. I don't have the right pan. I feel like
You messed up like 4 ingredients, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's a pan issue because the pan I have wasn't.
It's a pan issue.
It is because it wasn't deep enough, and then shit was overflowing. It was just.
No.
Yeah. So
fuck.
You know what? So I'm too stupid. So maybe the listeners had better success than I. But it sure smelled good before it bubbled all over onto the stove.
I should have gave the direction to make sure the fucking 28-ounce can of tomatoes fits in the pan.
Yeah. I had a 23-ounce pan. That was the problem. It was a complete disaster, but that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, it smelled good, if nothing else. How was everyone's Valentine's Day?
Amazing. Had no kids at home.
Yeah?
Sent the kids packing. Although I drove to Edmonton and back for a little chore. So 6 hours in the car of planned music listening, and something happened. The stereo broke on the way up. So it was 6 hours of silence. 6 hours of my own thoughts.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like no radio? Like no nothing?
What?
Nothing. No radio. Anything. Just silence.
Shit.
I found out about 20 minutes into the drive.
Good.
I would have had to turn around.
Oh,
Jeez, that's Valentine's Day? That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
But we came home to no kids, made a steak, lobster, little, raspberry and whipped cream.
What?
A little movie and a snuggle. Watching Yellowstone. Everyone's watching that Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I haven't got
too,
to that yet.
It's a great show.
You're
Not
watching
bad.
too, Gordo?
It's a soap
Yeah, man.
opera, but it's all right.
Is
Yeah,
it like the new Dallas? Is that what that is?
It's kind of funny to me because it reminds me of where we live, right? It's not that far dissimilar, Montana to Alberta. So
True.
it's the way they portrayed it. I mean, it's probably for people from New York and Toronto, et cetera, that don't really get out to the West a whole lot. But it's a great show. Kevin Costner's awesome.
Cowboys have their own mafia.
Is he as good as he is in Waterworld?
Did anybody see that? What
As
year is
good or
that?
better?
I love that Waterworld's still a joke, and that had to be like 20, 25 years
It's
ago.
trending on Netflix.
I just saw it a couple weeks ago.
What?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it on
It's like
Netflix now? Did they?
It's in
is
the
that
top
like-
10 right now.
No.
I'll watch it again.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So it's like a new release.
It's so
right?
bad,
You know,
it's good.
Netflix
Yeah.
produces that. They do their list, the new releases, and
Didn't someone have like fins or something on there?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Fucking terrible.
Oh, what's the show called? Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Isn't it filmed in Alberta?
I think it's filmed in Montana and I believe Utah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. But it looks like Alberta. I mean,
It's all the same.
very similar. Yeah, it's very similar.
They, his daughter, she's
Costner?
got the offbeat good looks and the beat off good looks.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Gonna talk to the editing department.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's a compliment. That's a nice things.
That's amazing. Is that what your Valentine's Day?
It's your Valentine's Day. It's a good thing you're married.
That's awesome.
You make the home card. You give it to Aaron. It says, Aaron, you have really
offbeat.
You have the offbeat good looks, and she opens up the card and then says, and the beat off good looks. And then you guys just retire upstairs. Is that? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what the hell's happening here. All right.
Oh, man. That's outstanding.
Well,
She's
all right.
good from far and far from not good.
All right. What are we doing here, boys? Are we reviewing Netflix shows?
I bought a magazine. I bought a magazine today.
Oh, look at that. That's a real magazine.
Where are they buying? Where they sell magazines anymore?
I bought it at the grocery store.
Is that new? Eddie's on the cover?
Brand new. It's got Eddie on the cover, but it's the 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
Is he first?
He's not first.
But she's
okay.
Hang on, wait. Let's guess. Hang on.
Guess.
Tell me.
Guess. Who's number
It's
one?
not Jimmy. Is it Jimmy?
I'm going to go.
Not Jimmy. Nope.
Well, just pick someone.
Jimmy.
Each of you pick someone.
I'm going to pick Eric Clapton.
No.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No, it's going to be some old blues dude. It's going to be like
Robert Johnson or something crazy like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be something like that, like a BB King or some shit.
Close. Those guys are in there. BB King was number 6.
Okay.
All right. So who's number one?
Number 1, Jimi Hendrix.
It's Jimmy.
Yeah. Number 2, Eric Clapton.
Okay.
Oh, Cecil.
Anyway,
Close.
I found it interesting. It's really cool because they have all the top 100, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I do agree with.
You never
Jimmy.
do.
Who's 100?
There's a great quote.
Is it that scrub from the hair metal band that had his own website? What was that guy's name? Was he from Dawkin?
Oh, the dude that had the glowing review of himself that linked the that was George Lynch.
Oh, George Lynch.
George Lynch. That's still one of my favorite research moments.
Who's 100? Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh,
Lindsey
okay.
Buckingham. Okay. Huh. At least he cracked the top one, honey. More than I did.
But Pete Townsend did the tribute to Jimmy, and this quote was the best. I loved it. With Jimmy, I didn't have any envy. I never had any sense that I could ever come close. which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of our guitar favorite people aren't in there, or if they are, they're a little further down the list than I would have expected.
Was Dave Grohl in there? I don't imagine Dave Grohl made the top. What is it? Top 100?
No, he didn't.
Huh.
He didn't. Slash was like 50th. I thought maybe he should be higher up.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see guys like that, especially when they're popular, right? Like when Appetite for Destruction was out and all that, and everyone was all over Slash saying what a great guitarist and that. And then when you actually put the list together, and again, I couldn't even imagine how hard that list would be to put together. Like how many guys and gals are sitting at a boardroom table trying to debate that. And think of what we go through to put together a list of 10 or a list of 20. Imagine what you have to do with 100 guitars.
They got guitar players and musicians to do the voting, but it was Jimmy was number 1, Clapton number 2, Jimmy Page number 3, Keith Richards number 4, Jeff Beck number 5. So I find that a little bit cliche. And then you get your BB King, Chuck Berry, and then Eddie, of course.
Oh, Eddie's down there always. Interesting.
Dwayne Allman.
Oh
that
yeah,
surprises me.
he was awesome.
George Harrison, which I didn't think George Harrison was the greatest guitar player, but good melodies, right?
That's a homer pick right there.
Well, I don't know. I think it's hard to. I don't know.
It's the Beatles, man. It's a mean chord.
It's the fucking Beatles.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's like when guys talk about Ringo Starr. Like when you talk about great drummers, there's some guys that'll just go off about Ringo Starr. And hey, There absolutely, there's some great, great moments. There were some great, things that he brought to that band. But when you think about best drummers, he's not at the top of my list. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just some pinhead.
The funny part was Albert King played the Flying V, and he was one of Jimmy's idols. Played a 59 Flying V. I didn't even know there was a Flying V Gibson in 1959.
Me either.
There you go.
Does it look the same? Is it as V as?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he looks like he should be playing in a hair metal band.
Yeah, he looks like he's about 60 years old playing a Flying V.
Awesome.
Looks like he should be in Megadeth.
Hey, isn't it weird when you see somebody playing the V and it doesn't what they're playing doesn't match what you anticipate? You're just like wicked guitar, but it doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah. That makes it's like somebody playing an Ibanez, but he's not playing metal. You're like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but that was the other thing. It was all Stratocasters, Les Pauls, and Telecasters. That made up 90% of the guitars.
Well, there you go.
Stratocaster, the most popular.
Well, I'm not.
And if you talk to these guitar snobs these days, oh, those Fenders are crappy. They got a bolt-on neck and blah blah blah. Yeah, well, some of the best guitar players ever played it. So fuck off.
So how do you change the neck on one that doesn't bolt on? Huh?
You fucking light it on fire or you smash
There
it.
you go.
You smash it, Nirvana style.
Nice. Well,
Anyway, I was more proud that I bought a magazine than anything because I haven't bought a magazine in a long time.
I was surprised that you showed up with the magazine, and it's funny because show and tell always works so great on an audio podcast. But I'm gonna do the exact same thing as we lead into today's topic. I did buy the album, and I was pleasantly surprised. Sorry if I'm a little off mic here as I go through the vinyl here. There we go. The special blue vinyl pressing is unbelievable.
That's sexy.
So again, remember everybody, support your
So you must hate
local
the new
record
Foo
store.
Fighters album because
I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, hey, let's get into it. We'll kind of talk. We'll talk before we get into the album itself. I think we'll get into Foo Fighters, kind of at a high level. I don't think we want to get in too deep. We can save that for when we do one of our regular 10 Great Songs episodes where we rank, the songs of the entire catalog. But, maybe we'll give everyone a flavor for how you feel about the band in general. Are you a fan? Are you a casual fan? Do you hate the band? Do you have a favorite album? When did you see them live? When was the first time? That kind of shit. I don't know, Gordo. I'll throw it to you.
Sure, man. Love Foo Fighters. I loved them from. I almost said there. I loved them from his first album when he did everything on the Foo Fighters album, the inaugural. I think I was as shocked as anyone that the drummer from Nirvana could play guitar.
Yeah, right.
And then play it well and write songs so good. So yeah, I've been a big fan for a long time. Maybe waning a little bit in the last albums, but still, I was eagerly anticipating this album. And I think I've seen him 3 times, all in the kind of middle of their career. The Echo, Silence, Patience, In Your Honor time, one by one. Great show, incredible show. They played for 3 hours one time I saw. I couldn't believe it. I was exhausted just standing there.
They do that, I think, all the time. What tour was that on? Because I was at the last tour, which was a Concrete and Gold tour, and they played 3 hours.
I think it was Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. I think yes, that was the last time I saw it. It was 3. It was either that or Wasting. Yeah, it was Echoes and Silence. It was 3 hours. It was so long.
Wasn't it the one that Royal Blood opened that tour? Wasn't that the tour you were at? Or?
I didn't go to that one. No.
Okay. So then, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I've been a fan for a long time. Love them. I'd say I can still consider myself a big fan.
Okay. Cease?
I've never really listened to him much, other than I couldn't name one album.
Okay.
I had the first, I think, Color and Shape of something. I can't see the rest of the title.
Color and the Shape, yeah.
But I recognize
Second
that album cover and a bunch
That's
of
the
songs
blue
on
one,
that.
right?
The first two albums, after that, I only played on the radio, but I had nothing bad to say. I'm looking forward into. I didn't know they had so many albums too, so they never really, nothing really has hooked me. The thing that hooked me most was that song "Learning to Fly." When I saw that, you seen that Rock 1000 where 1,000 musicians got together, and
that was cool.
that was amazing. That got me
Oh
misty.
yeah, that was unreal.
Yeah, it's insane. So they kept doing. They've actually done a few more songs, but that was the first time they did it, I think.
Yeah.
But like them, but never really got into them. Like the new album though.
Yeah, they're one of those bands, hey, that even if you don't own the albums or anything like Cecil, but they're such a. They have so many singles, right?
Yeah,
like
they've been all
you know-
over the radio
you know,
for like 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's
25.
it's like they're just one of those bands that has so many singles, and you may not have any of the albums or whatever, but you probably know 25 of their songs without owning a single album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so many songs I haven't heard. Like, holy crap! I can't believe how many there are.
Yeah.
What about you, Mauro? Have you seen them live?
You know what? I think I've seen him once, but I don't remember.
Oh, you might have been
I
with
swear-
me then.
I feel like I saw them at Max Bell, but I don't know that they ever played there. That's why I'm confused about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen him at Max
I
Bell.
don't remember them playing there yet. No.
But anyway, There's Nothing Left to Lose is my favorite Foo Fighters album, and it's still my favorite.
Yep.
And I found that everything after that, just for myself, didn't measure up to it.
It's funny. That's your favorite. That's right there near the top for me too, man.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, and I've heard a lot of people say it's their least favorite one, but for me, it just musically it was so awesome. So
Yeah, I really like that album.
And
Yeah.
times like these when they show the Flames montage. Yeah?
Oh, every time, right? Gets you going.
Yes.
I would say there are, again, going back to that sort of singles, type of band that they have a lot of hits. There's, in my opinion, there's 3 albums that I can listen to just cover to cover. And probably my favorite album is The Color and the Shape. There's Nothing Left to Lose is up there as well as another one that you can listen to straight through. And then they went on a run of 3 albums that I didn't really, care for. And then Wasting Light came out in 2011. I really, really enjoyed that album. I was going to, I meant to ask more, when you said, I think I've seen them live, but I don't remember, because they played Edgefest in 1998, which was outdoor at the Ray City Speedway, right? That was on the Color and the Shape tour. And it was funny because they played at like 3 p.m, and then Green Day played after that. They played the next slot. And then, of course, in typical 1998 in Canada, it was the Tea Party that was the headliner, right?
Oh God,
good Lord.
Yeah. It was the Tea Party was a headliner. Green Day, Foo Fighters, Sloan, Econoline Crush, Harley McNarland, and Biff Naked played.
it's a great
there.
lineup.
Yeah,
except
you know what?
for the order.
Maybe that's where I saw them.
Well, I was wondering if that was it, but there's some
That would
really
explain why I don't remember.
well, it was blitzing hot. It was in July, and it was like crazy hot. And I just remember drinking a lot of beer in the hot sun, and I'm not even
Holly
sure.
McNarland.
Holly McNarland. There was a second stage. The best part, I never saw anybody play on the second stage, but Creed was there. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Wide open. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
One of the band back when every band tried to sing like Cher.
Yeah. Well, everyone was doing a bad Eddie Vedder impersonation to a certain degree, but
That's when Jenkins took his pants off.
yes, you were there. Okay,
Yeah,
so there you go.
I was there.
So
I do remember it.
But-
But I remember Jenk running around with
Well, I
his
remember
fucking
Tea
pants
Party
off.
at Bay City, but I don't remember any other bands.
well, they played 2 years back to back. They played the
I
year
went to the wrong
before
year.
when who was there? Silverchair was there.
Oh yeah, I heard
yeah.
about that show.
and they had
The guy
that
was yelling
crazy
at
ass
the crowd. The Silverchair singer just became vegan, and he's yelling at everyone for being meat eaters and
Yeah,
shit.
oh yeah. When in Alberta, where everyone's eating beef, the whole thing was just an absolute disaster.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you become a rock star when you're fucking 12.
yeah.
That's right.
Those
They
guys
so
were
good early.
unbelievable, and then they just disappeared.
3 years later, no
Turned
one's ever heard of
16
them.
and went to rehab.
Yeah,
That's when he yelled out, "Suck my dick." I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, eat my dick.
yeah.
Meat eater.
Now he's working at McDonald's.
That is a weird lineup, though. The Tea Party headlining that must have been like
Yeah.
the all-time downer. Holy crap!
But Green Day was like, it was awesome. You know, I was
Day was-
again.
You said 98?
Yeah, that was 98, in July of 98.
Green Day would have been awesome back then.
Yeah, and it was outdoors, and like I said, it was a nice night, and I was looking forward to the Foo. I mean, they only played, I can't remember, maybe 10, 11 songs, something like that. They didn't have a big catalog at that point, and they
Yeah,
played.
2 albums, right?
I think they played mostly the first album, and then I think 3 from The Color and the Shape from the new album. I think I could be totally wrong on that, but if you really want to see how Dave Grohl has matured, not obviously figuratively, but I mean as a front man, if you go on YouTube, there's a bunch of footage. If you just Google like 1998 Edge Fest Foo Fighters, there's a whole bunch of footage there, and it's like just raw, like camcorder shit, because there's no phones, right? Like this is camcorder shit, and you watch them compared to what you see now. It's absolutely incredible, but.
I'd check that out.
Yeah, I would say, you know, I think I'm with you, Gordo. I'm a pretty big fan, and was really, really looking forward to this album. And then also, it's sort of as a bit of a teaser, maybe, that once they released the first single, I was a little bit concerned. Right?
That's a good word.
Right? Dave's running around all the media outlets saying, hey, this is a different sound for us. And I think in one interview, he even said, hey, maybe we'll be a country band. And then, you know what, we could be a metal band. We could be whatever we want. And then that single came out, and I thought, oh, shit, the wheels are off, right? I was very, very concerned for it. So,
And it's very true. They can be anything they want, but should they be
but
everything?
should they? Yeah, we suggest you shouldn't. Stick to what you do. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone want to say anything? Yeah, I mean, about the album. I mean, it's about 36 minutes long, or 36 and a half minutes long. So
I love the length of it.
Yeah, well, it fits nice on that vinyl. I'll tell you that. That's always the good thing, because if I tried to buy The Color and the Shape, they had it at Recordland, and I had it in my hand, but it's 2 LPs, 4 sides. Some sides only have 2 songs on it. Like, I'm gonna spend all day just flipping the fucking album. So I didn't
It's
buy
not the
it.
commitment we need in the vinyl club, Huffman.
I know. I know.
You better get your flipping arm out, buddy.
Well, you know what? Instead, hey, I pivoted and I found a mint used copy of the first Greta Van Fleet album, which is awesome. So I did. I picked up 5 albums that day, but Color and the Shape was not one of them.
All right.
Anyway, overall, before we get into the songs, how do we? I love the drumming on the new album. I think Taylor Hawkins is great. I think it's a different. They got the female backing singers that bring a new element. I think there's some violin in there. I will say there's a lot of cowbell.
I find this the easiest one to listen to. It's like It's more pop. It's probably my favorite because I like it, and I've been listening to it. I haven't done that with many of the other albums.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a poppy album. Do we want to start?
You know what
Good
the
sing-along
thing is
songs.
though? I'm so surprised. Once I got past the drum machine and the keyboards and some of that shit,
Yeah.
I found the album was actually pretty incredible. But I'm shocked for the amount of bands that Dave Grohl's played in, the amount of influence, like he's played with everybody, Tom Petty.
Yep.
Okay, and he's been in like 10 bands. I'm surprised that before now, some of that he hasn't changed, because the Foo Fighters sounded pretty similar for a long, long time without any sort of change. I'll call it maybe evolution, but they never really changed a lot.
Yeah.
And I found this album was a complete, turn from what they normally do, which I really enjoyed.
I will say, and maybe it's not a complete change. I mean, this is different, but was it In Your Honor that had it was like a double CD, and the second side was all acoustic, and they just
That's
did
right.
that whole like I hated that album. I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I liked whatever the singles were off of that album. I don't have it in front of me.
That's funny. I really like that album. Did you not like the album overall, or just the acoustic half?
I didn't like the acoustic half, and
Really? But it's got like Best of You and No Way Back and
No Way Back is great. Like there's like 3-4 singles off of that. I thought the rest was kind of filler. I really didn't enjoy it. So anyway, my point just being that, they did do like an acoustic sort of thing. And it's not an unplugged where they took existing songs and just did them acoustically. They created if I'm listening to Foo Fighters, I don't want to listen to 9 acoustic songs. Like, anyway.
I do appreciate on this album that they, 10 albums in, like you said, and they had the balls to try something different, to expand their sound, because I think they have been sounding kind of formulaic, if you will, in their last couple albums. Their songs are they fall into a pattern for me. Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna go through track by track here, but I don't know if what they're trying to do, for me at least, if it really panned out. If they're trying new sounds, I just don't know if they did them well. I found the album was a little disjointed, which isn't the worst thing, right? You can have an album of singles. You don't have to listen to it track by track. But I had a hard time with this album coming together. I didn't know where it was headed. It was very disjointed to me.
Okay. Well,
I just want to say one more thing before we go.
Ahead.
But it reminded me of 2 bands right off the bat when I first heard it, because I was like, oh, geez, they've gone a little bit, different here. I love old Kings of Leon, and they became more poppy, and their old stuff is straightforward rock and roll, and it's really good. And I think their fan base changed a lot. Excuse me, from those old albums to the new stuff. And the other one was, and you guys are going to probably laugh at me for this one, but Maroon 5. Maroon 5 used to be a rock band, and then they became a pop band. I'm not comparing Foo Fighters to Maroon 5, but what I'm saying is this album, to me, has as much pop in it as it does rock and roll.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wrote down here that it's a much more mainstream album, and it's a pop album, and it is.
5 though, you monster. You take that back.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know. Adam Levine is one of the most talented guitar players out there, and songwriters.
He's one of the best guitar. Sorry, Morrow, but same thing here. Is big respect, but don't listen to Maroon 5, but you can't say much bad about him. He's
what am I listening to?
No, keep going. Well, keep going. Keep going. Keep going on that.
Yeah, he's a killer guitarist. He's freaking. It's similar like a Keith Urban. Someone I don't listen to, but he's got mad skills on the guitar.
I'm so
We're talking
glad.
about the Maroon 5 we hear on the radio. That Maroon 5,
dude. This is an awesome sidetrack.
This love has taken its toll.
Okay,
Hey.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm shocked that both of you would say that, because I've never thought that thought ever.
Hold on to your hat, Gord. Hold on to your hat. Here comes number 3.
Oh God!
The funny
no.
thing, so Morrow mentions 2 bands. The first one being a rock band, Kings of Leon, and I don't know anything about Kings of Leon. So I got nothing to add there. But Maroon 5, I've listened to a shitload of Maroon 5 because my daughter used to like it and would listen to it a lot, and my wife likes it. And so we'd be out on the deck or whatever. I'd, come home from work, go out on the deck. She's out there having a beer, listening to it, and I actually started to like some of that stuff. I thought it was actually pretty good, and I thought
it's good.
All right, stop.
I can't.
Stop.
I'm on a roll. Hey, stop interrupting me.
There.
I liked them by accident.
Yeah.
I like them by accident, and I actually I agree. It's like John Mayer. I don't like John Mayer, but if you see him when he does guest spots and he ends up on stage with, I saw this thing he was out there with on stage with Slash, Billy Gibbons, and somebody else.
He's got mad skills,
absolute monster.
I know.
Right?
Same,
All right. And it's just like, this is the same dude that's writing love songs for Jennifer Aniston. But he is
have you ever heard Adam Levine's version of Purple Rain?
No.
That was good.
He
sings
did it on
it.
Stern, didn't he?
Yeah, he sings it and plays the guitar. It's freaking incredible.
Yeah. It's
because that guitar solo is iconic.
Here's what we're gonna do. We've been friends. We've been friends a long time.
No.
Our next podcast is going to be an intervention. You guys need my help. I love you all, and I'm here to save you. We are not going to talk about Maroon 5 anymore, and the love of Maroon 5 and appreciation of Maroon 5. And we are certainly not going to compare one of the greatest rock acts of all time, the Foo Fighters. We're not going to compare them to Adam Levine. I just won't have it.
Well, I'd suggest.
I think you're going a little bit crazy if you say one of the greatest rock acts of all time. Because I would suggest
one of the best live rock acts. I would agree with.
We could do Maroon 5 in the future, but you wouldn't listen to them anyways, Gord.
I'm talking about Foo, Gord. Gord, I'm saying that the Foo Fighters are one of the best live acts.
Yeah.
Anyway, well then
we can agree on that.
All right. Well, we better pivot out of this before it comes to blows. Let's start with side A because we're on the vinyl train here. We're gonna kick it old school. Side A, side B. So side A, the first track of the album is "Making a Fire." Na na na.
What's your favorite song with nine? There's. This is probably a long list.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean,
I couldn't figure out what I was listening to, a Lenny Kravitz song or the Black Crowes.
It had that's a good call. And there, it was funny. There's I don't want to call it gospel, but there's like a gospel like kind of interlude in the middle. Like it and it's awesome. Like it's really awesome. It's super short, but it's really good.
No, you're absolutely right. I think this is a great start to the album. I had my hopes were high after this. No. I was on board with the backup singers, the gospel.
Taylor Hawkins is a beast on this too. I'm going to say that probably on most of these songs. He was good
on this. But
I know there's some loops
really
in
catchy.
here, but yeah,
this is a great chorus. I really was happy with this first track. I thought it was setting the stage for something marvelous, and I really liked the direction. It was a little poppy and gospel-y.
It's a great start, eh, boys? That's a super start. And then what happens? We go to track 2.
Great
track
song.
2 is called Shame, Shame. How do we feel about that, boys?
Song's always in my head after I do stupid stuff.
Dun, dun,
I was just
singing that around all
Cecil's
day.
song.
Did something shameful again.
This
Gordo?
song is not very good.
Oh man, I think it's a good song.
It is not that I want to hear Foo Fighters always sounding the same, like a Nickelback fan would like Nickelback, and you're getting Nickelback every freaking album. I'm not saying that. But this is a directionless, awful song. I listened to it like 9 times. I'm like, what am I missing here? It's like I went back to the Phantom Menace like 4 times in a row thinking it would get better every time. It didn't. I don't understand what the hell's going on on this song. What am I missing, boys?
Is this the Jar Jar Binks of Foo Fighters? Is that what you're
This
telling
could
me?
be the Jar Jar. Misa no like the song.
Anyone else? Anyone else on this one? Mauro, you said you like
I
it.
think it's a good song.
Yeah?
I think it's well written. I think I did write a couple notes about it, but I thought it did remind me of Queens of the Stone Age, so maybe that's why Gord doesn't like it.
I love Queens of the Stone Age.
It was the first thing that shot into my mind when I heard it.
Okay.
And I know it almost had the Queens of the Stone Age, Eagles of Death Metal vibe to it. And those guys have all played together in a few bands, them Crooked Vultures and shit like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
I found it was the first song lyrically, like this album, it's kind of an upbeat album musically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very,
This is a darker
I'm not going to say
song.
depressing,
Yeah.
but the lyrics throughout the album are a lot about depression and like coping with shit. Like it's actually
is.
quite dark if you read the lyrics. So I don't know.
I don't know
that
if you
was a
guys
pretty
knew
cool
this.
song.
I should point out that they actually recorded this prior to COVID, because I'd read a comment online that this was a reaction to COVID. It's depressing and stuff. But they recorded it before, and then they were just about to release it, but they didn't want to release it and then not do live shows, so they sat on it for a year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This song was. I'm just trying to say this was written independent of the COVID situation.
Yeah. See,
They
there's
recorded
some
in a
shame,
haunted
shame.
house too.
Another Season of Loneliness. They wrote that before. Interesting. I don't know. I like it. Here, I don't want to go too deep, but Shame.
So let me just say,
Just cut me off. Fine. I don't want to say shit
just
then.
do what you want, Gord.
it's
You've
your
already
buzz.
said your
It's
piece.
the Gordcast. Okay. Gordcast.
It's a Gordcast.
just mute me, boys. Sorry, Carlin. Go ahead, buddy.
I was you know what? You interrupt me at a good time. I was going deep where I was going to have to probably make no sense and blame the weed that I hadn't smoked.
All right. Well, I'll say quickly, and I sort of referenced it off the top that I was concerned when I first heard this as being the single, and I thought, what is this album going to sound like? Funny thing is, the more I heard, I thought maybe it was a good idea on their part to release it first, because I had heard it so many times prior to the album being released that by the time the album came out, I actually liked the song. So I will say it's certainly not my favorite song on the album, but I quite like it. I do like the song.
I'd say vocally, he does a lot more really interesting stuff on this album than any other album.
Yes. Yeah, I've got a few notes of that.
I don't think this song really represents the rest of the album that well either. So
Well,
it's
that's the
interesting
thing.
interesting that they picked this one as the single.
That I don't get.
Right? I didn't understand that decision.
I would agree.
But the chorus has got Foo Fighters all over it. Like it sounds Foo Fighters. It's the verses that are a little bit different.
Yeah. There's a lot of pieces to it that are different. And like you said, as a first single, like that song is not indicative of what the rest of the album is. So
I got caught a little off guard, being that he's the most amazing drummer, and Taylor Hawkins is pretty good too, but I don't think he's as good as Dave. But the drum loops, the album's filled with drum loops everywhere.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Song number 3 is called Cloud Spotter.
Cloud Spotter. Yeah. Great tune.
Right? I had, Morrow, you had mentioned vocally doing different things, and this first verse, like it's just so soft, so kind of lightly sung, and then it gets into that crazy catchy chorus, and that Dave Grohl growl, that yell, if you will, and that's the shit that I love. I think his voice is so dynamic that he can sing so many different styles, and that's kind of when you get to hear that that yell, the patented Dave Grohl yell. I think this was my least favorite song on the album for a long time, but
I could tell you why, because I think it sounds a bit like Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, well, maybe that's it. But I was going to say it started out that way, but I love the build up. I love the way that it just. I like the whole composition of the song, and I end up really, really liking this song.
The lyrics in the song are unbelievable, and then so I was wondering what the fuck a cloud spotter was. So I looked it up, and I found on the Scandinavian Traveler website, how to become a cloud spotter. Need to wind down? Why not just drop everything and look at the sky, if just for a moment? This is a This is like a real thing. I don't know what the fuck.
I feel like
cloud
we
spotter-
needed a sponsor for that part of the program.
That's what,
There's
Brought to you by, I don't know, Sleepies or something. I don't know.
yeah. Gravin Pretor Pinney founded the Cloud Appreciation Society in 2005.
The Cloud Appreciation Society.
The Cloud Appreciation Society. I was very intrigued
Hey,
because I
anything that
enjoy
gets people
I enjoy
together.
looking at the clouds.
That sounds very relaxing and insightful.
It sounds like a bunch of potheads that are just sitting down staring at the sky. That's what that is. But hey, if you
an
can make money
excuse-
at it,
Yeah.
Carlin, what do you think of this one?
Nothing much to say. Like I saw a Kiss the Sky lyrics,
yeah.
homage to Jimmy. That's about it.
Yeah.
But one of the more
Homage.
groovy. It's one of my favorites on there.
Yeah.
This is
There's a riff on this album that he said he actually wrote 25 years ago. That he never
was
got
Cloud
to
Spotter.
use.
Yeah, that was that one.
Could
Was it?
be.
No, I don't know.
Oh.
It's possible.
Yeah, I
It's a
remember.
wicked riff.
I remember reading that a couple months ago, and I forgot all about it. You just brought it up, so I don't know which one that is. But anyway, the fourth song is "Waiting on a War," which is that was the third kind of single, I guess. It's so weird the way the world works now with albums and stuff, right? The album's only been out for 11 days, and they released 3 singles from it. But anyway, "Waiting on a War" was, I believe it was the third one, right? Because "No Son of Mine" was the second one, which we'll get to in a little bit. But acoustic kind of start, and then just an arena rock freaking blowout.
I think this song's really pretty. Like it's a great song. It came from his daughter watching the news a lot, and she asked, "Dad, are we gonna have a war?" And he found that really depressing. So he wrote this with her in mind. I think it's a really pretty song. Like it's a good acoustic number.
Yep.
Good lyrics, good singing. I just if you may, I'd like to just jump back onto Cloud Spotter for a sec.
Oh God.
We didn't talk about the cowbell on that one. We got cowbell in Cloud Spotter, and
Cowbell Spotter.
I didn't find it very appropriate usage. Not a very appropriate use of a cowbell in that song, I'm afraid. Didn't clear for Cloud Spotter. Ooh.
I'm sure the cloud
You didn't
spotters
like it?
hear a lot of cowbells when they're watching clouds.
They
Probably
could.
lying in
Yeah.
the field.
They might.
Yeah.
I
very appropriate.
I enjoyed it, but any event, the "Waiting on a War," as I circle back to what I was supposed to be saying. I thought Taylor Hawkins was unbelievable on that song too, and maybe I shouldn't say that on every song. There's probably a couple that he really stands out on, but especially that the way that song finishes, I think. Just imagine seeing that song live. I think that song live is just going to be awesome,
You got to think,
which is
if
what
you're
they
the
wrote it for.
If you're the drummer in the Foo Fighters, you probably, no matter how good you are at the start, you're probably working on your game if you're Dave Grohl's drummer, hey?
Well, 100%.
No.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you guys think of "Waiting on
I mean-
a War"? Was it a good acoustic song or what?
I think
I like it.
it could have been on any of the albums. It's the first song where I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the Foo Fighters." Like it wasn't. It was more in line with what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me. I don't know. Like I don't know if you guys like when I was little, we always played guns like war. Like it was like cool or something.
Uh-huh.
You
Now
saw
it's
it.
like,
The lyrics reminded me of that. And what was the movie? The Patrick Swayze movie where the Russians invade.
Oh, Red Dawn.
Dawn.
brother.
Red Dawn. I was like, yeah, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. They did a remake
remember-
of that a couple of years ago. That was great too.
Was it really?
I didn't see the remake.
It was the North Koreans. It wasn't the Russians. It was a little bit more far fetched, but sorry, Moral. Great.
I found it interesting because the lyrics were kind of about that. It was
Great
waiting
film.
on a war in it. As a kid, I thought war was cool, and of course, that wasn't a very smart thing to think.
Yeah. Well, you never know, right? All right. Well, the last song on side A is "Medicine at Midnight," and that's where I got my notes mixed up here for some reason. I can't read my own writing, but this is a song that I thought it had a really cool disco almost sound to it, and that solo in this song, it sounds like a Tom Petty tune. Like it sounds like something that Tom Petty would do to me. Not do to me. It sounds like a Tom Petty solo to me.
Tom Petty done things to you?
Yeah, Tom Petty. Yeah,
He'd be gentle. I wouldn't worry about it.
Heavy Tom Petty.
This reminded me of David Bowie a lot.
Really? Like the
disco. Yeah, the 80s David Bowie.
Let's Dance, that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah.
I feel like the intro, I'm waiting for Michael Jackson to start singing Pretty Young Thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like PYT, Pretty Young Thing.
I thought the song was about like substance abuse or drug abuse, but after, like he was never a druggie. Dave was never, so I kind of had to. If you read the course of it, it's like it seems like he's using dancing to solve his issues, which is a little bit odd. So that's why I attributed it to something much darker. The chorus is epic in this song. Like it's so good.
So good.
So you guys all like this song too? Just so I'm clear. 3 thumbs up. Because I
love it.
As much as it sounds like David Bowie, to me it sounds like really shitty David Bowie.
And
I did not like this song at all.
And you're right, Huff. You don't hear a lot of guitar solos in Foo Fighters stuff. And on this, it stands out to me. Like it was bluesy guitar solo. I'm not even sure if he played it. But
it's what's his face? Chris Shiflett. Is that his name?
Yep.
Anyway, Gord, give that another listen. I feel like you need to hear that again. And that solo, like I honestly,
I can appreciate the solo for sure, right? And I appreciate what he's trying to do. I just, as I say, I like that he's trying different things and kind of using different influences. I just don't think the songs themselves are good. Like I can't believe that you guys actually like the song, and I appreciate that you do. I
think it's my favorite one.
I just don't like this song at all.
Okay.
I think it's my favorite song on the album.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll give it another listen. I haven't just listened to it once. I've listened to it numerous times. It's not growing on me, boys.
Huh. All right. Well,
one.
That's the end of side A. So we're gonna have to turn that over. Side B.
Gotta flip that blue vinyl. If you're lucky enough to get that.
Yeah. The first song on the second side is No Son of Mine.
I like
this is definitely going to be an ode to Lemmy, right? Like this has got Motorhead.
I like it because when I hear the title right away, I think of it's like a negative point of view.
Yeah,
like that song, "No son, you're no son of mine." But this one is quite the opposite. Says, "No son of mine will." He's talking about all the things It's just basically about being a good dad. He's talking about all the things his son won't get into or be like. You know, he won't be. His son won't be a douche. Won't be a bad guy. So no son
I
of
think
mine.
that's fucking wishful thinking.
My son's gonna be a good.
Yeah.
No. All that stuff.
I guess this is the one song they needed to play something off the album at festivals for sure. And this has got to be the number, right? Like it's pretty upbeat.
Yep.
It actually has a guitar solo too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, this is a pretty good song. It renewed my faith as I got to this one. This one's got a little bit more to it.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest rocking song on the album, I would think. I mean, as far as that, maybe that formula that you talked about earlier, Gord. Like there's some different components to it, but it's a straight up Foo Fighters song in my opinion. And I there's a part in there. So it starts off with like there's just the guitar riff, right, and then the vocal comes in. And then there's a part after that where it's just the kick drum, and it sounded to me like Du Hast. Du Hast, because it's just like there's the riff with just that kick drum, and
that's the stadium part.
It sounded like Rammstein to me.
Just imagine that back at what's the arena in London, the Big O or whatever.
Yeah,
no, is it the whatever it's called? But
yeah, I think so.
I can just picture him like 100,000 people in London playing that song, and that's the part where everyone's like, yeah, right,
yeah.
I could see
catchy.
James Hetfield singing that song.
Oh, totally, dude.
It's like a James Hetfield song.
I don't know. I heard everything like Rammstein or like Ministry. Like it, there seemed to be
Ministry. Yeah,
there was a kind of that one, not the whole song obviously, but there's parts in there that I thought were kind of interesting that way. The song number 7, or the second song on side B, however you're following along at home, is called Holding Poison. Who's got something on this? I'm completely confused about this song. This is a song I said this is what I wrote. I'm not sure how I feel about this song. It's definitely different. Seems disjointed at times, but once again, the chorus is catchy as fuck. Those are my notes.
I don't know if this is going to help you. But,
No, it's probably not.
I'll read my note. It kind of tags onto yours. I wrote, "It's okay."
That's it, eh?
That's it. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm very confused by this song. I don't hate it,
I don't either.
but it's an odd tune. What do you guys think?
It just sounds like classic Foo Fighters to me.
It does,
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good, but I enjoyed some of the different stuff a little more. It's got a really strong guitar riff. The lyrics are phenomenal.
This one feels
can't
like
re-
filler to me.
I don't know. The lyrics are pretty good. They're actually quite profound about holding things back. But the song itself, I don't know. It's not the best song on the album for sure, but
No. Cecil, you got anything to add?
Meh. This, speaks to me a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
When someone might not speak his mind all the time when I need to. This is like holding poison, man.
All right.
at first I wondered if it was like that when you have the bed spins before you puke,
You know,
and you won't let yourself puke.
got one foot
Is holding the poison
floor.
down.
I didn't get to read the
Holding
lyrics
the
on this, but
poison
now that you say
down.
that doesn't sound far off.
Yeah.
Holding down
Yeah,
something.
and then if you just let it go, the bed spins go away. If you just
It's a lot of
fucking yak.
self-talk in there. Don't.
a lot of self-talk after the
don't
clouds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you just let yourself puke, the bed spins go away and the hangover's a lot less in the morning.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't know. It's been a while for me.
This
Yeah.
one's
I don't
gonna
think
need
that's actually what
multiple
the
listens.
song's about, but it sure seems that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
maybe.
right. How do we feel about Chasing Birds? To get high.
If I wanted to get high and just cry myself to sleep, I just listen to Simon and Garfunkel. Like, what the hell is this shit? This is a terrible song. These lyrics are awful. What
It's
is
an
this?
80s song. It sounds like it was written in the 80s.
How did he not lose a bet here?
Oh, there's George.
This is a great ballad. This is better than any of the acoustic stuff on In Your Honor. It's better than any of that crap. This is a good tune. The backing vocals, I think, bring just a beautiful element to this song. I love this song.
It's the
Don't you think it was 80s?
cheesiest Foo Fighters songs I've ever heard. I'm embarrassed I heard it.
It could be on a best of 80s album. I'm serious. Dead serious.
I
I like
this
it.
song.
I like it a
too.
lot.
That's surprising. You actually really like this song. I'm not just saying that to get some confrontation for the listeners. Like, you actually really like this song.
Yeah, I do.
There's something about it I like.
What am I
just
missing
like the
here,
sound
boys?
of it.
Wow.
I don't know.
Maybe
You
I'm
just-
out to lunch.
You can't. Yeah, maybe you can't understand the complexities of Dave Grohl and his cast
Like
of
a-
Merryman.
Like a Tool fan, right?
But maybe I'm just excited about all the stuff in the sky, the birds, the clouds.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know,
Okay. I almost felt like this song belongs like in a Foo Fighters mockumentary. Like it was that level of cheese to me, which is weird because I considered
it's
myself.
coming from the biggest Foo Fighters fan.
I'm the biggest Foo Fighters fan here. I think until this album.
I don't
And
think you are.
I don't get this album as a whole. But I,
I think
really
you're
don't
in
get this.
denial. I think you hate the Foo Fighters and you're just lying to yourself and everybody.
It's possible. it's possible. We'll get, maybe we'll talk about the evolution, like how we got to this place after we're done the song. So we got a couple more, but what's next, Huff?
Well, I was just going to go back to, I was going to say that, you know, I at some point you and I'll have the conversation, because I'd love to hear like this song in terms of, again, that a lot of their acoustic stuff that they did around, you know, One by One, In Your Honor, Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. There's a lot of shit, a lot of bad songs on those albums.
Really?
And I would suggest that Chasing Birds is one of the better acoustic songs that they've written. Like I would listen to that over Another Round or Friend of a Friend. Like, anyway, I don't want to. We'll get into that once we do the one of our regular format episodes. So the last song on the album, last song on side B. No matter how you look at it, it's the last song. Love Dies Young, classic Foos. I think it's a bit dancey, right? It's a little bit dancey, but it's a Foo rock and roll song in my opinion.
Really?
It's fucking awesome.
It's a total love song for sure.
Yeah. We needed this a little bit earlier. I could have had it in my top 5. I could have replaced 10,000 Maniacs.
Well, dudes, I must be the black sheep of this pod. This one sounded like a Journey B-side to me. I don't even. This isn't the Foo Fighters. This is Journey Reject B-side material, boys. What is this?
It was
Love
after
Dies Young.
See, this is where
terrible.
this is where I can't understand you, because to me, this is like classic Foo Fighters.
It totally is.
And you're like, this is terrible. And it's like, sounds like it could have been on any one of the other previous 9 albums.
There's no way it would have been on those other albums. Otherwise, it would have been. I was so disappointed with this album, boys. There's a few gems on here to be sure, but I just don't get this. And
Okay.
Love Dies Young sounds like the end of the mockumentary when they're running the credits. This is not a good song at all.
Oh my God, Cecil, have you got what are your thoughts on this song? Have you got anything before we do an overall wrap and we give?
It's
I'm
okay.
afraid
The last
to give
three,
our ranking.
the last 3 songs are my least favorite, but I still
Okay.
like them. I like the palm mute and chuk kind of just like it's like I'm dancing my way out of the album.
Yeah,
No, it's
Well,
a good
yeah.
last song.
Yeah, you like
And-
palm muting.
And love. I got a take on that, but we're gonna need a edit this out moment.
We'll save
before
that
this
for the
podcast
next
is
episode.
over. No, it's still coming, but near the end of this one, then I'll give you my take on what the album's really about.
All right. Well, this is the part of the program that that we.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big question, but Nirvana or Foo Fighters?
Nirvana.
Foo.
Geez, that's tough.
Which is, you know,
It's tough
Which do you
because
prefer?
Nevermind is a better album than anything that the Foo Fighters have done. But the remaining parts of their catalog, I don't think. I mean, they're different, right? Foo is more pop, more radio friendly, I guess, if you will. But I like the Foo Fighters songs a lot more, the singles a lot more than the Nirvana.
For me, I guess I'd have to go with Nirvana, but only because I'd say, and let's not include this album in my thought process. Clearly, I'm a little negative on it, but I wasn't super high on Concrete and Gold and Sonic Highways. They were good, but I saw signs of this album coming as a result of those. Right? There was a slow evolution here, so I shouldn't be surprised by this album. But I absolutely love the Foo Fighters' middle and early albums. The ones that you don't particularly maybe like, Huffman, like Echoes and Silence, In Your Honor, One by One, maybe not as much, but I really like, there's some gems on that I like, but I guess I'd have to say overall Nirvana.
See?
yeah, I'd say the same.
Oh, well,
Nirvana.
Okay.
Is it Vanna or Vana?
Vana.
It's whatever you want, buddy.
Well, whenever I see Dave Grohl talk about it, and most recently, just what was it last week or whatever on Stern, he would pronounce it Nirvana. So I say Nirvana now.
Yeah. Dave would know.
Dave would know.
So
He would know.
overall impressions on the album, boys. Huffman, what did you being the other biggest Foo guy, like it seems like you really like this album, which is great. I'm glad.
I'll put it to you this way. I said off the top that out of their, before this, the 9 albums that they had released, there were 3 of those 9 that I can listen to front to back. This would be the 4th.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why I bought the album. I listened to it a couple times on Spotify as we were preparing for this. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. And I went out and bought the album. And
It's funny
listened
that
to
you
it.
bought it because I seriously fucking contemplated it today.
Did you?
I did. I was like, you know what? I actually like it enough that it might need to be it, but there's a few I have to get before it.
Yeah, I bought that. And as a side note, I got a smoking deal on the St. Cecilia EP. So I bought that too.
What about you, Cease? You're not totally familiar with their other stuff, but you seem to really like this album as well.
Yeah. But this is probably where I'll get cut off, and then might clip this part out. Yeah. Every song could be about beating off. You got...
Okay, don't go song by song and explain how. No, shit.
I didn't write the songs, guys.
That's right.
Okay, now...
You just bring the
all right.
insights. That's good.
It's very insightful.
Okay,
Well,
so you can restart the podcast now.
All right, and engage. Just kidding. I hope this album grows on me with time like it did for you guys. I mean, it's only been 11 days, but I just at this point don't see it happening. Maybe I'll see it a little differently in the coming months, but I was really disappointed. I love this band tremendously, and I was happy that they were experimenting, and I just didn't like the final album here, fellas, at all. So, you know what? Hopefully they do another one, or or hopefully this one grows on me.
Are you going to continue to listen to it?
I'm going to give it a try. I did really like Making a Fire. I think that's a great song. There's a couple other on here that are pretty good, but the first song is great. To me, it was just downhill from there. And I hate to say that because I really, really like Dave Grohl. I respect him tremendously. He's been in some great bands, including Queens of the Stone Age, who Merle says I don't like because I hated his shitty Valentine song, but I do like that band a lot.
You love that song.
He's one of my favorite musicians. He's so talented. It didn't come together for me, fellas.
You just like it because a drummer became famous.
That's right. If there's one of us, there can be more.
I stick to my comment. Finally, maybe letting the drummer write all the songs caught up to him here.
I thought you liked the album more. Well, let's go. Let's go.
No, I do. I think that this album, it's the first Foo Fighters album I've listened to since probably the second album, or the third album that I've been able to listen to it start to finish, full way through. Most of the other stuff that came out after that, I found I'd like 3 or 4 of the songs, and I'd find the rest just monotonous.
Same.
And I think it was the Sonic Highways. Was it Sonic Highways?
Yeah.
Where they did the tour.
Yep.
Yeah.
To different studios and played. And I thought when I heard the concept that I was going to love that album, and I didn't like it very much at all. And I just found this refreshing. I really enjoyed it.
I might be one of the few people out there that like Sonic Highways. I've read a lot of bad shit about that album, and I quite like it. But anyway, go ahead, Cease.
No, just quickly, this album makes me want to go through the catalog and do our picks and sticks research. I want my own playlist. I think I just surprised there's that many albums. There's so many songs I haven't heard, but there's a song off every album I've heard. So I'd like to get into those other ones, get a little deeper.
Well, let's commit to doing that sometime in 2021. We'll do Foo at some point this year. So I guess around the table, the last thing we really need to do is and I'm afraid to ask the question, but to give the ranking out of 10. Cease?
Oh man, that's high for me. It's like an 8.5. Can we give half points?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's
Also, we're scoring it out of 10, not ranking it like in terms of the top 10 albums.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
scoring it out of 10. Sorry, my
That's
bad.
good.
I should have. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Morrow.
For me, probably. I want to give it an 8, but I can't. It's a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Nice. I'm with Cease. I would almost give it a 9, but I'm not quite there. But I'll give it an 8.5.
Wow. Great marks. Good scores.
All right.
I
Gordo?
know. Jesus, God, I didn't show up tonight to be the contrarian here. But
You got.
I'm
We're
so
here to give
disappointed.
honest opinions.
I'm so disappointed. I'm going to go with I've never given them a horrible mark, but I got to give it a 5. I just don't, not loving it.
All right. Well, that's
I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's an average of about 7.5. So not a bad score. Didn't rank as high as Power Up by AC/DC, which was the other album review that we did, and we will be doing more. So we'll see how see how it all goes. But I think I enjoyed the process. It helped. I think that it was only 36 minutes or 36 and a half minutes, whatever it is.
Doing the new album review. More
I
of
love
these
the
in
album
future.
review. It was fun.
Yeah.
I went through this thing like 20 times at least.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's our next one coming out? We got to look at
And
future releases, not our episodes, but what's a new?
Yeah, the next
what's
album.
a new album coming out that we can
we'll take that
find?
offline. We got to look at what's coming up. I think Greta's got a new album out. I think Royal Blood's got an album coming out. There's a bunch of stuff that's 2021 supposed to be a big year for album releases. So we'll take a look and find out what the next one is.
Indeed.
Everyone was stuck at home writing music for the last year, so
Yeah, and everyone figured out
some good stuff.
how to record at home and do stuff. Like everyone, like a lot of bands were releasing videos. Like some of the stuff that Clutch was doing was great. They're like, it doesn't matter what band or even what genre of music you're into. Somebody was doing something. There's a lot of music out there. The pandemic music, if you will, the quarantine music, whatever you want to call it.
That homeschooling song that kid wrote that the Clutch singer sang.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It's such
Yeah,
a
it was
good song.
amazing.
It's a good tune.
Can I give a
love that
shout
song.
out for those of you that are looking for some music? Is that Alice in Chains? What was it? The tribute or the induction? What was it? The Alice in Chains were a bunch of bands. Sorry, I'm forgetting the actual term for it, but that was incredible. Some of the bands that showed up and played their music was great. So
Mastodon just destroyed it, man. They were so good.
Absolute Mastodon crushed
I'll have to check that out. And to bring it back to today's topic as well. So Foo Fighters was on Stern just recently, and they did. I think there's 3, maybe 4 videos of them playing live. Obviously they didn't play it in Stern studio because of the pandemic, so they did it at their own studio. But they did a cover of Mississippi Queen that you have to check out. It's a must see, and it's really interesting there because Grohl doesn't play guitar at all on it, and it's all Chris, and he's
Pat Smear.
and Pat. But the solos and all the main riffs, like he's playing lead on it, and I think maybe he gets, because Dave is the front man. I think Chris probably sits in the back and doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's a hell of a guitarist. But check that out. So there we have it. That's Medicine at Midnight, and we hope you enjoyed this special episode. And if you did, please tell your friends, your neighbors, your family, your coworkers about it. Please also hook us up with a review and a rating. You can do that on either Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. And again, we always appreciate your support. Don't forget, you can email the show, picksandstickspodcast@gmail.com. We may even feature your email on an upcoming episode of Gord's Pouch. And actually, Gord's pouch will reappear in the next episode. We make that promise. So make sure you get in on that. Send us an email. And speaking of the next episode, what is it? I'll tell you. You know what it is? It's Maroon 5. No, it's 3. I should have just let that roll. I was going to call an audible. You should have seen Gord's face. Fuck. No, it's actually Rage Against the Machine.
Oh,
so so keep an eye out for that. Or even better, you know what? Make sure you don't miss a new episode. Simply subscribe to Picks and Sticks. It's all you got to do. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Amazon, Pandora, and many, many more. And that'll do it. Thanks for listening. And until next time, see you.